At a middle school in California, Maya walked the halls quietly, her backpack held close to her chest. She was a black girl with gentle eyes and a careful smile, the kind that tried not to take up space. She loved reading and art, but school felt heavy every morning. The bully noticed her silence first. He laughed at how softly she spoke and mocked the way she dressed. His words followed her between classes, sharp and public, meant to wound. Maya learned to keep her head down, hoping invisibility might protect her. Each day it grew worse. He shoved her books from her arms, scattering papers across the floor while others watched. Laughter echoed, not always cruel, sometimes nervous. No one stepped in. Maya knelt to gather her things, her hands trembling, cheeks burning. Teachers saw fragments, never the whole picture. A raised voice here, a complaint there, nothing that captured the daily cruelty. The bully learned where cameras ended and supervision thinned. Maya learned where to walk slower, where to avoid, where to breathe quietly. At lunch, she sat alone near the wall, drawing small shapes in her notebook. The bully passed by, making jokes for his friends, calling her names that stuck like glue. Maya focused on her pencil, pressing harder, wishing the bell would ring. At home, Maya didn't say much. She told her parents school was fine. She didn't want to worry them. She believed strength meant silence, that enduring pain quietly was somehow brave. At night, she practiced smiling in the mirror. Her courage was not loud. It lived in small choices, showing up again, answering questions in class, helping others when asked. She volunteered to clean brushes in art class, shared notes with classmates, and thanked teachers with sincerity. The bully mistook her calm for weakness. One afternoon, he blocked her locker, leaning in too close, laughing as he whispered insults meant only for her. Maya's heart raced. She waited for help that didn't come, then slipped past when he moved. In gym class, he tripped her during drills. She fell hard, scraping her palms. Laughter burst out before the whistle blew. The teacher scolded the class and moved on. Maya wrapped her hands in paper towels, swallowing tears, standing again. Whispers followed her name. Rumors formed without facts. The bully thrived on attention, on control. Maya tried to remind herself of the things she loved, the future she imagined, the strength she carried from somewhere deeper than school halls. Some nights she wrote letters she never sent. She wrote about fear and hope, about wanting to be seen without being hurt. She wrote about fairness, about believing that adults would notice eventually, about trusting that cruelty had an end. At school assemblies, posters promised kindness and safety. Maya read them carefully, wondering where those promises lived. She wanted to believe them. She wanted to believe that speaking up would matter, that telling the truth wouldn't make things worse. The bully's confidence grew as silence continued. He pushed boundaries, testing how far he could go. Maya sensed a storm building, something sharper than words. She held on to courage like a thread, hoping it would hold when pulled. What no one knew was how much Maya was carrying, or how carefully she protected her heart. She was not weak, only quiet. And though she stood alone now, the truth about her life and the protection surrounding it had not yet arrived. The turning point came on a grey afternoon when the hallway was crowded and loud. The bully shoved Maya harder than ever before, and she fell against a locker, hitting her shoulder. This time, a teacher saw everything. The noise stopped. The silence felt heavy. Maya was taken to the nurse's office, her hands shaking as ice was placed on her shoulder. For the first time, she didn't say she was fine. Tears slipped out quietly. The counselor sat beside her, listening, writing notes, finally seeing the pattern that had been hidden too long. The school called her parents. Within hours, a black SUV pulled into the parking lot, drawing curious looks. When Maya's father stepped out, staff members froze. Some recognized him instantly. Vin Diesel walked through the school doors calmly, his presence steady, protective, unmistakable. He didn't raise his voice. He asked questions. He listened as Maya spoke, her words breaking and rebuilding her courage. He held her hand, reminding her she was safe. Teachers and administrators exchanged stunned glances as the truth became clear. News traveled fast through whispered conversations and wide eyes. Maya wasn't just a quiet student. She was loved fiercely, supported deeply, protected completely. The bully, sitting in the principal's office, felt confidence drain from his face as consequences finally became real. The administration acted swiftly. An investigation confirmed everything Maya had endured. The bully faced serious disciplinary action, mandatory counseling, and removal from shared spaces. More importantly, the school admitted its failures and promised immediate change. Vin Diesel spoke firmly but kindly. He talked about responsibility, empathy, and the cost of silence. He reminded them that status should never determine safety, and that every child deserves protection. His words carried weight, not because of fame, but because of truth. Maya returned to school with new measures in place. Teachers watched more closely. Counselors checked in daily. Students who once stayed silent now smiled at her, some apologizing, others simply standing nearby. The halls felt different, lighter, safer. The bully avoided her completely. Gone was the laughter, the swagger. In its place was consequence and reflection. Maya didn't feel victory. She felt relief. Justice, she learned, didn't have to be loud to be powerful. At home, Maya talked more openly. She shared fears she'd buried and dreams she'd protected. Her parents listened without interruption. They reminded her that courage includes asking for help, that strength can be gentle, and that love shows up when it matters most. Weeks later, the school held an assembly, not for punishment, but for change. Anti-bullying programs were expanded. Student voices were invited forward. Maya watched from the audience, her hand in her father's, feeling seen without being exposed. She returned to art class with confidence, her drawings growing bolder. In the cafeteria, she sat with friends. In the halls, she walked upright. The past didn't disappear, but it no longer controlled her present. Maya learned that family isn't just who you're born to, but who stands with you. She learned that silence can be broken, that truth can protect, and that kindness backed by action can change everything. And the school learned a lesson it would never forget, that every quiet child has a story, that every ignored voice matters, and that justice arrives fastest when people finally choose to see.